The Sing Your Heart Song Speaker Spotlight featuring Liz Jakoi. Liz Jakoi is a transformational mindset coach. For decades, she has been fascinated by the inner workings of the human mind. Liz teaches you how to master overwhelm in 5 key areas of personal power to elevate your energy and live in flow. For more information, please visit www.lizjakoi.com. Mark your calendar for day 3. Liz will be presenting under the theme of Sharing Your Heart Song, How to Live the Song in Your Heart. One of Liz's favorite quotes is this: "The wound is a place where the light enters," by Rumi. I saw you bopping to the tune earlier, Steph. It's such a happy tune. I hope it makes you in the mood for summer. Thank you so much for all of you watching us today. This is day 4 now of our Sing Your Heart Song Speaker Spotlights. What an amazing kickoff week we've had doing the Speaker Spotlights, Steph. What do you think?
I think it has been. It's been awesome. And Olivia being the restream, the live stream queen, I'm constantly learning more about how all this works and how to get our message, our story, our heart song out into the world. And it's awesome to be participating with the people that we're spotlighting this week, who will be part of the Sing Your Heart Song Summit happening in just it's going to be here in no time at all. Last time I looked at the countdown, it's like 40 days or something. So
exactly, in no time at all. So mark your calendars, July 19, 20, and 21st. And it's been really exciting to tap into this live stream technology, because we're able to stream simultaneously on so many channels. So wherever you are, we'll find you.
And you can find us.
And you can find us, indeed, indeed. And what's been really awesome too is that we've been interviewing some newer folks, right? So we have a lot of newer presenters to the summit. So it's been really exciting just to sit down with them and get to know a different side of them in a casual conversation type way.
It is. And when we do the Sing Your Heart Song Summit, the format is generally that it's presentation style, not rather than interview style. So the fact that we're doing these spotlights like we are this week and going forward this month in June helps us to get a different perspective, and helps you, the viewers, to get a different perspective of our presenters. And it's always cool to see what we discover along the way.
Exactly. So you're just tuning into us. Thank you so much for watching. Hello, Corinda. Just want to say hello to you, Corinda. Excellent. Hi, Corinda. Thank you so much for being a supporter of the Sing Your Heart Song Summit and watching the speaker spotlight. So we are waiting for Liz Jakoi. She's going to be on here any minute now. Fingers crossed. Everybody cross your fingers and cross your toes.
And do the little, you can do the heart finger.
Yes.
Cross.
Maybe that's what we need to do, some heart bombs. Awesome. So I think she's here now. So let's give it a try. Here we go. Liz, can you hear us? You can hear us.
There she is. Woo!
We cannot hear you, Liz. No. Okay, we're going to have to do sign language today. Okay, Liz, get out the whiteboard. I know you got one. The white pad and the easel. Yes, if you want to get your easel, we'll do it this way. All right, we'll give her a few minutes to get ready. This will be interesting. So, we're on Restream and we allow our guests to come on a few minutes early, just check the audio, check their internet, check their video. And sometimes these technical glitches happen. We just don't know. I mean, Liz is all the way up in Canada, so we just don't know. But one thing that we've learned from producing these virtual summits, Steph, is just you got to roll with the punches.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe just innovate along the way, right? So
innovate and learn. And now I was frozen for a second there. Yes, it is. There's always a way to get our heart song out into the world, that if we just stick with it, and if one thing doesn't work, then we try something else. And and I think that's one of the important lessons about the heart song, is that too often times we get feedback from the universe saying you need to suppress your heart song. Your voice isn't good enough. You're not a good singer. You're not whatever. And the truth is that your voice and your heart song is needed now more than ever. And there is a way to get it out into the world.
Exactly. And I'm really excited to sit down with Liz because she's a familiar face. So she's presented at our summits before. So she's a pro and been a wonderful support of our community. And so I'm very curious to hear about how she has seen us evolve, and also just to see what new things she might be presenting this time around. I know, big shout out to you, Liz. She's been really working hard and getting her NLP certification. In fact, she already has it. But I remember last summit, that was something she's working towards. And so I feel that it's something she's going to be able to provide tremendous value to our attendees and to our coaching clients. I'll always remember this. As a coach, she considers herself like the Mary Poppins who has this carpet bag with all these magical tools. And so she'll be able to pull things out of that carpet bag that's going to be suitable and relatable for you, because she really wants you to help master overwhelm, master your mind to achieve the life that you want. So that is something that I always think about when I think of Liz. I can just see her with a Mary Poppins hat. Maybe that's something you need to get, Liz, like a little prop, a Mary Poppins hat and like a bag, and then just a demo of you pulling out all these fantastic tools, and now including the NLP. So I'm really proud to. And this is what I love too. I love that I can watch our presenters grow as a result of the summit, right? So I've met Liz very early on through the pandemic, through network, and just to see her journey and to see her progress is really amazing. So big shout out to you, Liz. Hello. Oh, Carol Ward is joining us. Hey, hello, Carol. Yay. Carol is another NLPer, and we also have her at the summit, and she's going to be talking about money mindset. So yay. Carol, we are so looking forward to sitting down with you for your speaker spotlight. So awesome. All right. And let's see. So Liz is a professional coach, right? So I know she's going to make this work. She's already got her easel going. All right, Liz. Here we go.
Oh, I heard a door slam.
Liz.
Working. Perseverance pays off, I tell you. Whoa.
Oh my goodness, perseverance pays off. So just so I know, what was the differentiator? Like, what worked?
Well, I usually use my laptop like this because it has a battery. So if power goes out, I have it connected to my phone, so I have data. So like I can have all the backups, right? But I couldn't get on. It wouldn't connect. So I thought, okay, I'll go to my desktop, which doesn't have battery. It's right. And that wouldn't connect. So then I rebooted my laptop, tried again, and it worked. So there you go. And while you were saying that, I went down to get my hat.
An umbrella.
I'm not superstitious about opening an umbrella in the house, so.
Oh, I love it. Thank you for playing along, Liz. But truly, that is something that I feel so memorable from watching you and hearing you say that. And that's a perfect beach hat too. I mean, it complements your beach photo. I love that photo of you at the beach. Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
That's the best Mary Poppins hat I have available right now. But that's a great idea. Thank you for that. Maybe I should do some rebranding on that.
Get your carpet bag and
my magic. Yeah, and then pulling, yeah. There you go.
pull all kinds of things out of it. And
it'd be so cool. Maybe like even revising the lyrics, just a spoonful of medicine, maybe revising that tune to something specific for you.
There you go. I love it. Yeah, I've started working on another one. because some people say that they're an imposter, but I always tell them you're not. There's no such thing as imposter syndrome. What it is you're just not being yourself. That's the imposter, is what you're portraying now, not your true self, right? So there's a song by Billy Joel. I forget the name of it now off the top of my head, but I've started rewriting the lyrics on it. So yeah, so it's a good one. So I should definitely do Mary Poppins as well.
Yeah, I think it's just whimsical, and I think people can relate to it too, especially with the material that you teach and you coach on.
Exactly. Yeah, great. Well, we're here. Yay!
I'm so happy. Restream, I love you, but I think we had our first fight because like in any relationship, right? I mean, it was smooth sailing from the get-go, and I was like, oh no, like why is this happening on my most important day? But anyway,
it's not even the 13th, so I don't know.
So I'm so happy that worked out. And yes, lesson learned. Like I told Steph, hey, I just want to roll with it. I've got my material ready. So if nothing else, we can reschedule you. But everything worked out the way it should. And so this is maybe the universe lesson for us for today. Be patient.
Patience and staying in a powerful state, which is, so that you can, because when you get all nervous and oh my God, and you start going down that rabbit hole, why isn't this working? And I can't, instead of, what I teach people is ask powerful questions, move yourself into, because then you can really troubleshoot, and then you just go with the flow and see, I connected. So there you go.
Excellent. All right. Well, I mean, you've got the easel out, so I'd love to use that. Because I know you it's a big part of your coaching.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah, there we go.
Just in case. Excellent. So I love, I've heard of transformational coaches. I've heard of transformational coaching, but I feel that you've got something different now. You're a transformational mindset coach. Can you talk a little bit more about that, please?
Sure. What it is, it's really about, a lot of coaches out there will focus, you want to transform your life. So maybe you'll focus on fitness and nutrition. And then you have other coaches that may just focus on, trauma or, certain aspects of your life. But it's really why I tend to look at is more of a holistic approach, that it's not enough to just focus on your body, but you need to focus on your mind and you need to focus on your spirit. So your mindset really involves changing the perspective that you have on life, changing the way you view life. Because if the way you're viewing life now is, not giving you the results and the outcomes you want in life, then maybe it's time that you started taking a look at and transforming. It's kind of looking at your programs that you have, taking out those programs and reinstalling the new programs, if that makes sense.
Excellent.
It's really transforming, right? It's taking a look at what you desire, and then engaging with those desires, evolving, and then as you're evolving and as you're engaging, certain revelations will come. And when you're limiting beliefs, when certain things get revealed to you, that's when you get liberated, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have to dedicate yourself. It's this constant growth, right? It's transforming, but it's constant transforming. That's why they call it a journey. It's kind of like going to the gym. You can't go to the gym for 2-3 months and think, I've changed my body, that's it, and I stop. No, it's something you got to keep doing. You got to dedicate yourself to.
Going to the gym reminds me of something I've been thinking about recently. And that is when you go to the gym, you have moments of like pleasure when you are finally able to do that rep, that weight that you've been struggling with for a long time, or when you're doing yoga and you can finally do warrior 3 pose or whatever, that it takes time to get to that, and there's the pleasure of that satisfaction, but there's also the pain that comes from the attempt. And that if you are of my era, when watching what was it, the World of Sports or whatever the heck it was called, but the agony of defeat, and that there are times when we feel defeated, and how do we actually transform that, just like we experienced today with frustration with Restream and technology and things not working out quite as we expected. But when we persevered and had the patience and tapped into the power, literally in this case, we were able to, it all worked out.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm glad it's like reps in the gym, right? You can't create those biceps or those, hamstrings or whatever it is you're working on without continuously, you're actually what you're doing is you're breaking, like what I understand from personal training is you're breaking down the muscle and then you're rebuilding it and repairing it. So that's pretty much essentially what you're doing with the brain, because all these synaptic connections and chemicals that have gotten so used to being one way, so you've got to tear those down, create new connections, and build those back up. It's the same thing. So yeah, so thank you. That kind of sparked another.
And
Yeah,
you just sparked for me. That's like
I
what
know. See,
it's like what a breakthrough's all about. It's like a breakthrough doesn't happen without the break part of it. So
no, and I also believe, and that's why I call it like mind, body, spirit, because you've got to look after your body, you've got to look after your mind, but we're all spiritually connected. There's this oneness out there. I know a lot of people may think that's a lot of woo, but where do you get these ideas? Where do you get these downloads? Where does it come from? It only comes when you're in that present state, right? When you're connected to yourself and to something higher than yourself. So that's why I look at myself in terms of transformation. It's not just one thing, but you've got to look at the whole.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just love that intro quote that you chose from Rumi. And I'd love to know about the significance of this quote for you about the wound is the place where the light enters.
Oh, thank you. It's taken me a while to truly understand what that means, but when you look back at your childhood, you may have, for some reason there was some hurts along the way, and you attach some kind of meaning to it, and it plays out in your life, and you don't really realize until something really, really bad happens, and you get really wounded. And when you're really wounded and have time to really sit in that wound, that's when the aha moments, that's when the epiphany, that's when the light enters. So
Beautiful. And Carol Ward is chiming in. She says, I love the gym example. It's so true.
yeah.
Yay, Carol. Thank you for supporting your fellow speakers. And Carol's new to Summit, and you're a pro at this. And so I really love to see that interaction because there's so much we can learn from each other.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Hi, Carol. Nice to see you.
So tell me about if I am curious around the wound. I think one of the things that, and we were talking about breaking and how breaking creates breakthroughs and creates new connections and so forth. What are some of the wounds that you have seen that at first glance look terrible? I mean, sometimes wounds look awful and we don't want to look at them or acknowledge them. But when we take the time to be aware of and be present with the wound, how it transformed into something remarkable.
Yeah, for sure. Well, for one of the examples for me that I just came to realize in doing this work was a long time ago. I had this rock in my backyard. I was about, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old. It was like this big, for me, it was a big boulder because it ate in size, right? And whenever I got in trouble at home, my mom, she would always say, now go think about what you just did, which I think was a great way of parenting, right? It's giving the child responsibility to think about what they're doing so that they can change what they're doing and then start living a different way, right? Other than the consequence of whatever it is you got in trouble for. And what happened was, for me, my dad it was on this bed of dirt where we used to put out our garbage bins and stuff. But my dad wanted to create this concrete plastic. And in order to do that, the boulder was in the way. So he buried the boulder. So I don't know if he knew that boulder was very significant and very important to me because it was my thinking spot. Like when you do it, it was my thinking spot. And when I came out, saw that it was gone, my dad had buried it, I was like hurt. And I didn't feel I could express my hurt or my anger as well, because he was my father. We grew up with 15-year elders, authority, you can't do that. And so it only came to light through this work in the last few years that that boulder, bearing that boulder, represented one, men had authority over me, and that they were bullies. I got bullied by men mostly, and that I couldn't think, and I couldn't be creative, and I couldn't do the things I needed to do in order to change my life and to move forward. And it's kind of funny because when I look back on my life, though, I see how successful I was. Like, I was still successful, even though from 10 years old, this played out in different ways in my life. Like, I noticed how it played out when I was in high school, and I got an award for being, outstanding athlete of the year because I competed in a lot of different things. And so things like this, I wanted to be invisible. I didn't think I deserved it. It wasn't me. Like, how could this be? Like, so it played out in different ways throughout my life. And when I uncovered that, that was that biggest wound. And it happened in my marriage when my marriage was ending, because I let my husband and his lawyer bully me and my lawyer into doing certain things that now I look back on, I really didn't want to do. And so that was that wound. And I find it was, that was the biggest gaping wound. When that opened, and how I came out of that was realizing I traced it back to the decision that I made at that time was the best decision that I could make, and it was a learning opportunity for me to redirect my life and to recognize that now I saw something within myself that was a wound from my childhood, and now I've healed it, and now I can move forward. And it was a great setup for me to do the work that I'm doing.
One of the things that strikes me about that, well, two things. One, that is how seemingly simple and not necessarily traumatic experiences can have such a huge impact on us. I mean, one of the turning points for me in a similar way was the day that I cleaned my garage, and I excitedly shared what I'd done with my dad, and he immediately pointed all the things that I still could have done to make it better. That you're right. And I'm just like, okay, well, it doesn't, no matter how much I do, it's never enough, right? And simple thing, no belts, no anything, but it made a significant impact on my life.
Exactly. It has meaning to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, what does this mean? And what does that mean about me? And what does it mean about my relationship with the world and with my dad and with, other people and so forth. The second thing that your story illustrates for me is how oftentimes we have those rocks buried in our backyard that are still, it sounds like it was still there, right? It didn't like go away. Your dad didn't remove it, but it was buried, and so we can't see it. And so there's still that strength there, but we don't have access to it because it's been buried under other things.
Exactly.
So how do we access those hidden sources of strength that could empower us and help us to move forward in the way that we want to move?
Well, one of the ways that I've done it for myself, and I've helped a lot of my other clients too, is to figure out, I guess it's that heart song, right? Figuring out what was it as a kid, even though that got buried, and I attached, that men are bullies and people have an authority, have power over me, and I'm not going to be able to, change or whatever, which that has totally changed. But the other thing that it came up for me is recognizing what were the things that really gave me joy. What were the things in my childhood that really made me feel alive and made me feel like I was in ease and flow? That even given that circumstance of the boulder being buried, there must have been instances throughout my life where I was living life with ease and flow. And so when I look back, I connected the dots and saw it was those moments where I was facilitating, I was teaching, even as a kid, whether I was teaching, it was where I was translating things for my fellow students and my peers in the classroom because they weren't understanding what the teacher was saying. So I learned, so looking back, well, my facilitation, my training and development, and my coaching helped me move people from despair to hope, and from hope to into action that gives them purpose, that makes them unstoppable and feel invincible, right? So yeah, it's kind of connecting despite the burial and overcoming that look at other areas of your life where you were doing where you have ease and flow. And that's what sort of helped me to be.
I love that phrase, hope into action. Because when you're in despair, it's inaction.
Right? Exactly. And so when you're in despair, the opposite of despair is hope. Right? It's not enough to have hope and to have desires. It's great. It gives you momentum. It starts your momentum, but you need the action. You need the behaviors. And they really make those changes to habits, patterns, beliefs.
Yes. Action makes a big difference. And I'm currently reading Mel Robbins' book, The 5-Second Rule. And, just about, every time that you're presented with something, we have the simple action of counting, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then do it. How often, in contrast to how many times we tell ourselves not to do it, when we get into our heads and we bury the desire underneath all these excuses and challenges and so forth, instead of being in action.
Exactly. But if you think back on it's those moments that I look back on where I had those whispers. I don't know if it was whispers from the universe. I don't know if it was whispers of my inner soul, my inner being, and said, no, do this, right? Follow that. And when you did, you were successful. But like you said, right? So oftentimes it comes back to the self-sabotage, right? The sabotaging myself so much throughout my life. That, I did it, but then later on it's like, no, you're not good. Why did you do that? Like you start questioning, right? And it pulls you back into the darkness, back into the So it's learning the tools and the techniques that I've developed too, with methodology. It's like the computer this morning. Like normally, 5-6 years ago, I probably would have messaged you and said, forget it, I can't do this. Like, you gotta reschedule, blah blah blah, right? But it was like, no, let's just stay calm. And when you stay calm, things will work out, right?
Exactly. I think back in the day, I would just unplug everything, unplug, reboot to see if that would work. As we wrap this up, it is so wonderful to be able to sit down and reconnect with you again and have you come back to our summit for the July edition. And I'm a huge fan of your social media. I love following you. I recommend everyone to follow Liz because you have the best recipes. The best healthy recipes. So I want to know from you, what is your favorite summer recipe that you can share with us right now?
Oh, my favorite summer recipe? I would have to say it's the most flavorful dish, low fat, low carb. It would be the chicken tikka. I don't know if you've ever followed me. I love it because you can do it in so many different ways. You can do it as a flat piece that you can grill, or you can put it as a kebab. So that's my favorite. It's quick and easy, tastes great, looks great, something different.
Great. I think I did see that the other day on your social media post with the chicken on skewers. Excellent. All right, so everybody go follow Liz. This is her LinkedIn page right here. This is her Facebook page right here, and grab that recipe.
Or message me for more.
Or message Liz for more. And this is her website right here too. So Liz, since you're coming back to us during the summit, what is it that we can look forward to? What will you be sharing with us this time around that may be different from the past summits?
It's probably taking everything that you've learned, hopefully throughout the summit, about your heart song and how to put it into action. Because oftentimes 90% of the time we're told to do certain things. So I'm going to give you that one thing that you probably haven't heard before that you need to put into action.
Ah, yes, that's right. You're a closeout speaker for Thursday, for day 3. So that'd be awesome because all of you who are attending the summit will be able to finally synthesize what you've been learning and then working with Liz to apply it and taking that action, right? Taking that one thing, that one baby step after the summit. So love it.
That's awesome.
Yay. So click on the link below, singyourheartsongs.com, register, get your tickets today. You want to RSVP early so that way you can grab your workshop materials and be able to bookmark all your favorite speakers. So thank you, Liz. It is so wonderful to see you again. Thank you for being on the speaker spotlight today.
Thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure. And thank you for inviting me. And thank you for creating this great summit for everyone to come learn more about their heart song and how to sing.
Exactly. How to sing. All right. Bye-bye for now. We'll see you tomorrow, same time at 11 a.m. Eastern for another fabulous speaker spotlight. See you soon. Woo, we did it, Steph.
We did do it.
All right. Awesome.
Technology glitches and all. It all worked
Technology,
out.
glitches, and all worked out. So I'm going to go and play our outro song now, and I will see you tomorrow.